President Dwight D. Eisenhower once said, "In all our efforts for education, in providing adequate schools, research, and study, we must never lose sight of the very heart of education, good teaching itself."
And then what I want you to do, Bryce, and this is the crucial thing, I want you to walk all the way down here and go out that door, but come right back in, okay? And I want everybody in the class to watch him while he walks out. Okay, now, here we go.
Here comes my husband and Othello.
Oh, let me stay here and talk to him for a while.
No, I'm leaving.
No, stay,
No,
please.
I can't.
Yes, stay.
Was not that Cassio parted from my wife?
Cassio, my lord? No. Sure, I cannot think it, that he would steal away so guilty-like.
You all saw Bryce McTavish walk out that door and go away. Now, think about it. Did he walk away guilty-like? All for no, raise your hands. Oh, my God. Let me read you another line. Othello says, I believe it was he. Oh, no, I can't think so. He stole away guilty-like. Oh, come on, you don't even need to take the cynicism test. You're so cynical, you don't believe Iago a minute.
I think that Dr. Jones is such an enthusiastic lecturer, and he just sort of transmits that enthusiasm to the class, and it can't help but be a fun class.
I think the thing I'm happiest with, since I'm forced to teach such large classes, is this business of the informal group discussions, what I call the cocktail Shakespeare. What absolute truth can we hold on to in the middle of a world dominated by appearances that will save us, in short, from Othello's catastrophe? That's your discussion to start with. Go, and when you've told me, I'll tell you what I think. I start them out as individuals, throw them a question, and then tell them to go into their discussions. And they simply turn and talk to the people around them about the question. What did you decide, Sonia?
I'm still of the opinion that Othello had this race problem to overcome, in society. And he was therefore vulnerable to people like Iago. And that's a whole problem. And if people can somehow...
Would you mind if I called on you in class? Because I think you put your finger on it.
Okay.
Great. That gives them the feeling that they're not alone in that large group. So then they can raise their hand and say, well, now my group feels, or I felt, but he felt. And then after 2 or 3 of those cocktail sessions, they don't even need those so much anymore because they're perfectly free as individuals to speak up in class. So we can have marvelous discussions and really serious thought going on with 350 people in the group. You got an answer?
Appearances can be deceiving, and that there are no absolutes.
Wow. Did you get that one? She says the only absolute truth to hold on to is that appearances may be deceiving and there are no absolutes. How do you like that? All right.
There are certain basic ideals that people can hang on to that even through illusion.
Okay, now tell me one more thing. How do you know what those absolutes are?
It has to do with, this may sound corny, but like loving other people. You're putting yourself on the line, in a sense. If Othello had, he had been really hurt by, if Iago had actually been telling the truth, he would have been very hurt by Desdemona. But he should have let her live.
If he had loved her, he would have forgiven her.
Right.
At the crucial moment in this play, Othello says, as he goes in to kill Desdemona, "It is the cause, oh my soul, it is the cause." Have you ever known people with a cause? I knew a lot of people with a cause in the early 70s. They were unbearable because they were so smug and self-righteous you could not talk to them. And that's exactly what Shakespeare is talking about.
I think just coming and listening to the lectures, I've That's real general, but I think that was my favorite part, just coming and listening to him present Shakespeare after trying to read it out of the book. You know, and realizing how much it does have to offer.
What I figured out in the midst of the night last night while I was worrying about the discussion question for the day that would go on from where we left off last time, I wrote this down. What is the central truth that can guide us? Love. And we are usually blind, like Othello, to that. You see, Shakespeare is building this play to show us that the thing that could have saved us is always present among us. And if we just open our eyes to it, then we are all right.
That's what surprised me about it, all the different, like you know how you learn so much about life in his writings, like that. And Jones really teaches it really well.
Today, we are about to have the first mystery personality of the semester. There is purpose in my bringing this person in today, because this person is probably one of the most powerful people you will ever have a chance to talk to intimately in this personality interview situation. This person probably has an annual budget slightly larger than that of Queen Elizabeth. This person probably has a staff slightly larger than the court of the Queen of England in 1588 when she conquered the Armada, and she is herself a noble representative of power handlers, Chancellor Ewing. Here is a person on this campus in our lives who has a great deal of obvious power in the decision-making process. So when we have a play like Richard II, which is the story of a man who has no efficiency in the decision-making process, the students can talk to somebody who is in a similar position now, and then they see right away the relationship and the continuity of Shakespeare's ideas.
Power is an interesting concept to me because it's something that people worry about so much. Anyone who has to worry about the concept of power probably doesn't have it. And that I used an illustration of a person I knew who was a very poor administrator. And one of the first questions he used to ask was, do I have the power to do it? And if you have to ask that question, I think you probably don't. The point is not whether you have the power or not, but whether you can influence people and whether you can create the kinds of changes you want to create. And in doing that, I use a variety of techniques.
See, I think this business of the relating of distant knowledge to the student's own environment is absolutely crucial to undergraduate education. I see so many students who say, I don't know why I'm learning this. And the only reason they're learning this is because the teacher told them to learn this. That's the way I think I was probably 40 years old before my learning started to fall together.
In high school, I had a little exposure to it, and it just really turned me off, but I can see now that Shakespeare is something that I think most everybody should have to study because it has a lot to offer to anybody. You know, there's a lot of things you can really apply to your life, you know, yourself.
Well, you mentioned once about, in passing about, we all knew that Shakespeare was the ghost in Hamlet.
That's one of the roles we know that he played. And it's a very significant role because, in a way, Shakespeare is the truth speaker. Oh, Allison, that's very nice. Very nice.
Because I came up with the idea that this is more like an interdisciplinary study of history and philosophy and literature because, as Mack explains it, Shakespeare's got these ideas about life and what the key to a better life is. And so I really enjoyed that.
What I like to say is that they come in as fragments and they go out as a whole because they come in with no common background of illusion, and you can make a joke about something and a few laugh, but not all of them laugh. But when they have this bond of common knowledge in Shakespeare by the end of the semester, they have the confidence of a large group of people who know the same thing. I guess it's just giving them some kind of cultural bond.
I think he's really good. I think he's really good.
Why?
He's funny.
Well, I think that's what makes the class. It's just very dynamic presentation.
Oh, I'd recommend it to everybody. I think everybody should be exposed to Shakespeare and Mack.
That practically everything I do in life is connected to practically everything else I do in life.
And as I was speaking to this leadership conference on Saturday, I realized that a good deal of my time in the last few years has been devoted to the difference between leadership and manipulation. Leadership, positive, wonderful, desirable. Manipulation, nasty, dirty, filthy. So, I wondered where I got onto that business, and it came through to me. It's all out of Hamlet.